A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to UBC Lunchtime News on this 11th day of December 2024. I'm Laureen Masika Kazimoto. We start off with our first story this afternoon. The National Resistance Movement Party is digitizing its members' register nationwide following an update process that began in March across 71,255 villages. Hajat Naham Medina, NRM's Director of Finance and Administration and focal point for the digital update in West Nile, confirmed the development. The digitization process is set to conclude by January 2025, paving the way for party elections and eventually the 2026 general elections.
Our register, which was last updated in 2020, we updated it in March this year, 2024. And now we are undertaking digitalization of the NRM members register. First of all, I think it's the first of its kind that NRM has decentralized digitalization of its register. And most importantly, it is a massive mobilization exercise for the NRM, working with over 1,000 young men and women in this country, and more so in this time of the year, when the National Electoral Commission is also preparing to undertake various activities in line of meeting its roadmap. After doing what we've done here, we are going to print the register, take it back to the villages for our people to finally confirm their names. And if there's any other person who may have been left out, especially the young men and women who are in school during this exercise, that will be their time, and that will be the final update of our register. Our voter register is extracted from the member register. We register members from 16 years and above. Why 16 and above? Most of them, by the time we enter the election circle, they have become of voting age. However, we have structure elections that will follow, because also part of what we are doing now contributes to the requirements for structure elections. We need to hold structure elections with a credible register. After structure elections, these very members are supposed to be constituted into a national delegates conference. We are purely using an electronic system where all the villages we worked with are coded. So sometimes you find there's a book, maybe a village which has split into two, and yet in our system it is one village, because we rely so much on what the National Electoral Commission has gazetted as a village. So these disparities have caused the challenges here and there, but our technical team has worked around all that to ensure that we are able to progress even with challenges. Because we will also have a system later to see how we can capture those who are in the diaspora. We believe that whoever is a citizen of this country is in possession of a national ID. As I speak, from the data centers countrywide that have picked, already we have captured 13 million, so we are left with about 5 million to conclude this exercise.
Leaders of the Pentecostal Assemblies of God have been urged to use their positions responsibly and honor their covenant with God. Speaking at a leadership summit in Migade, Wakiso District, presiding Bishop Dr. Simon Peter Emiao encouraged pastors and bishops to live exemplary lives, noting that such actions would positively impact their communities. We have more.
Bishop Simon Peter emphasized the importance of using church funds to benefit communities, suggesting this as a practical solution to improve household incomes.
Yeah, the prosperity of every one of us is based on the resources that God has given us. There is no poor man in the world, every man is rich. We only differ in degrees of the levels of our wealth. Each one of us is commanded and mandated by God to use that wealth accordingly. One day I was thirsty and I was driving from Karamoja. I got to Kumi and I didn't even have a coin in my pocket, but a woman pulled out from someone and gave me a bottle of water. That was only 500 shillings. That's great treasure of sharing what you have. And so, but it's faithfulness towards serving others. So everything we have in here, whether it's business, whether it's what, It's all geared not just for me, but also to serve others. 90% of the resources we get are really meant for others. 10% is meant for you, and it's enough.
The General Secretary, Reverend Bishop Dr. Onaga Jackie Franco, highlighted the church's role in social development services. He noted that efforts in supporting marginalized communities, particularly the Ik people in Karamoja. Dr. Onaga praised the resilience of Ik people, acknowledging their determination to feed themselves despite challenges.
Many things have happened which have not enabled us to achieve that target. But the reminder that that's where we started is a good thing for the people to say we must keep going. And also we wanted to remind people our basics. Because if we lose our basics, then we cannot do what we are doing today. And so that's why today we are gathered here, but more so to remind ourselves, to reflect back what God has done so that we can focus for the future. Because when we reflect back, we can say, where did we make a mistake? Where did we miss a mark? Like we set goals, but we did not get them. Where did we miss that mark? Then what can we do now so that we can be able to achieve what we want to achieve? And here today, we have
The summit emphasized the need for transparency, community-oriented initiatives, and exemplary leadership to foster positive change in society. I'm Nafka Farid and Vincent Wamundu.
In northern Uganda, a new farming model is gaining popularity, and it's transforming the way farmers work the land, fight food insecurity, and respond to the challenges posed by climate change. The Fumvudza farming model, promoted by a local Pentecostal church organization, is an interesting case of intersection between religion, farming, and climate change. Now, as Eddie Olwa reports, the farming model is making a big impact in Kwania district and beyond.
Harriet, a farmer from Kwania district, begins her day in prayer. With every sunrise, she and her fellow farmers in the faith seek God's blessing for a successful harvest. And for Harriet, the blessing has come in abundance. Harriet used to farm 3 acres of maize and harvest only 10 bags. But now, with the new Fumvudza model, she harvested 25 bags of maize from 3 Fumvudza plots, which is less than half an acre. Smith Alele, also from Kwania district, is another farmer who is no longer afraid of food insecurity.
You cannot sleep hunger when this customer is here.
He has embraced Fumvudza farming with the 4 plots.
As I told you earlier, you are the first person to come here, to come and see.
The Fumvudza model was introduced by Rex in Uganda, a church-based organization that borrowed the concept from Zimbabwe, where it has seen great success in combating food insecurity. Jeremiah Ochene, lead trainer with the organization, says that as a church they felt a responsibility to address the pressing effect of climate change.
By the way, it is very hard to pastor people who are hungry. We needed to introduce a new methodology that can help our people fight the climate change that is now affecting every farmer.
A typical Fumvudza plot is usually 16 by 39 meters. The key principles include minimum tillage, organic fertilizer, crop rotation, and water conservation.
Shave the grass and then you mulch your soil. The mulch is going to be able to keep the moisture, to keep the waters in the soil. We decided to use the Fumvudza model because it is helping so many people. Conservation agriculture is hard to practice in a large scale.
Climate change has become a major threat to agriculture in northern Uganda. Farmers are grappling with erratic rainfall, prolonged dry spells, and severe flooding, all of which have devastated crops and reduced yields. Climate change is primarily driven by human influence, in particular greenhouse gas emission. A rapid climate risk and vulnerability assessment by Northern Uganda Resilience Initiative NURI indicates that since 2011, greenhouse gas concentration in the atmosphere has continued to increase, reaching an annual average of 410 parts per million for carbon dioxide alone, a concentration higher than at any time. Godfrey Otime, a scientist with the National Agricultural Research Organization and NETA, explains that the loss of soil fertility in northern Uganda has been severe.
Actually, through studies, the yield has lowered by almost 60%. That means we are getting slightly above 30% of what we should have harvested. Nutrient mining. So we are taking away from the soil without putting back.
Deep plowing destroys the soil structure and harms the microorganisms necessary for soil health.
But now if we kill these microorganisms that are helping our plants to break down the nutrients to simple form, then that's the problem. We cannot have our yield as used to be.
Otime advises farmers to use minimum tillage tools like reapers to avoid overworking the soil.
We have what we call conservation agriculture, which involves making sure that you cover your soils, encourage, do not burn. Where we did, instead of you having the mold board, you replace it with a ox reaper. Okay? In this way you are able to only plant where you have reaped, to do it minimally. And then the weeds, now you manage them through the herbicides.
Edi Olwa, UBC News.
The Chief State Attorney in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Fatina Nakafero, has urged Muslim teachers to embody leadership in their daily lives. She said teachers have a bearing on the future of their students and in shaping their character and aspirations. Nakafero says Muslim teachers have exemplary behavior as their actions impact a wider Muslim community.
The Chief State Attorney in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Nakafero Fatina, has tipped on the character an individual teacher plays in the progress of the Muslim community. She encouraged teachers to remain conscious of their actions and interactions as they contribute to building a positive image of Islam in the broader society.
A teacher is the first contact person on a child's life. Like they go to school and this is the first person to teach them how to speak, to teach them what to do. All these come from the teacher. And children usually believe in their teachers more than the parents. So as they get into contact with these children, we advise and encourage that we have the best brands in them. A Muslim can excel at any assignment by focusing on our assignments so we can perform and outshine the rest, and also disprove those that think a Muslim cannot deliver when they are assigned a task.
The dinner was a memorable occasion where the founders of UMTA were recognized and honored for their hard work and dedication in bringing together the Muslim educational community. Haji Musa Abbas Kawas, one of the founders, said UMTA was established with a vision of uniting Muslim teachers.
A lot of our teachers were missing certain things in the Ministry of Education. We don't regret, since up to today the association is running, more teachers are involved, mobilized. You have seen what has happened here.
The director of UMTA, Ajir Namirembe, emphasized annual gatherings and awarding of the founders.
Usually we have it not only to share a meal, though for us in our religion of Islam, we value so much dining together. Dining as a team is a sign of togetherness, is a sign of brotherhood. We don't stop at a meal, we also reflect on several issues that we have been going through throughout the year. We celebrate our successes that we've been able to have.
The president of UMTA, Haji Musoke Musa, urged all the Muslim teachers to remain committed to its mission.
I encourage them to accept and have UMTA as their mother body because we wish them well. We look for them and identify who shall do what for the benefit of running the Muslim education in this country.
Story compiled by John Tawere Proskovia for UBC News.
The Super Soul Sister program, in partnership with the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, has launched an appeal to the government, stakeholders and the public to support underprivileged girls in Uganda. This call was made during the launch of the program's grand finale scheduled for December 14th, 2024, which will focus on girls seeking help.
For the past 2 years, the program has shared stories of women and girls aiming to inspire support. The grand finale set for December 14, 2024 will feature selected children with heart-wrenching stories.
Super Soul Sisters has an agenda in this community. First of all, it was created to give a platform to women to air out their stories, their personal lived stories. So when you watch the programs of Super Soul Sisters, you find that we bring different personalities from the ones who are in different fields and professions.
Jamilo Luka, the program's presenter, emphasized that sharing these stories is designed to attract sponsors to support underprivileged children who have a passion for education and other programs but lack access.
But we picked those who had stories which were evoking empathy, which had a lived experience, and then those which had prospects of being better in future.
Among the beneficiaries are Mbabazi Helen and Shadia Namugunza, who shared their inspiring stories. Mbabazi Helen, who has childhood political ambitions, expressed her determination to overcome high school challenges despite the obstacles she faces.
In my natural changes, those are the periods as a girl. I had nothing to use, and there is no way they could help me. They were both struggling, they were getting school fees, and at times I was always chased from school. So I decided as a girl, in order not to get ashamed, since I was the head girl by then, I decided to come up with something we had. We had old mattresses at home and some pieces of, what should I say, mattress covers. So I had to get a needle and sew them together to get a fine pad. From mattresses, old mattresses, and some pieces of cloth, I wrapped it up, so I started using it. Whenever I was in my papers, I had to put some polyphenes beneath it on my knicker so that it does not flow and so that I do not get ashamed. So my life went on like that, being a leader, but striving beneath me. But as a leader, I had a spirit that I should not show other people what I'm facing because I lead them. And I always had a story from my pastors that a pastor always has many knives on the back and the subjects have one, but the subjects want the pastor to get out that knife they have. So the pastor still helps the subjects to get out the one.
Shadjan, who has a hearing impairment, shared her passion for modeling and her drive to succeed, stating that disability is not inability.
You shouldn't be so worried, more especially the girls. Shouldn't be so worried about yourself because you can. I was deaf since young, but now where I've reached, I can still do something for myself. I can still advocate for things like pads and soap. So there's nothing like to worry.
You are you. Yes, you are you. And you can be perfect in you. It's just to clear something bad about you, to clear something that does not fit in you and stand as you. Everyone out there can talk in public, but the problem is you want to talk like Helen is talking, the way Helen is talking, which is not right. You stand, you give out your mind, your point of view, and be bold enough to stand firm as a girl. Don't pretend to be someone else, but be you.
The Super Soul Sisters program has been airing on the national broadcaster UBC for 3 years, sharing women's stories and inspiring positive change. The Grand Finale initiative calls for sponsors to support underprivileged girls in Uganda. Charity Marion Imnat and Kenneth.
The principal of the Youth Skills Training Center at the Ministry of Labour, Gender and Social Development has urged parents to involve leaders on holiday in productive skill-based work. He was speaking at the Horizon Kindergarten and Primary School in Luwero Town Council.
Engaging learners on holiday with hands-on activities will promote productivity and protect children from being undisciplined. The principal of the Youth Skills Training Center at the Ministry of Labour, Gender and Social Development, Chibirango Muhammad, recommended learners to be enrolled for short courses like computer science or metal fabrication.
I want to request parents to keep their children, take care of their children, to avoid things that can lure them into teenage pregnancy, into violence against children. I really urge the parents to watch their children, what they are watching on TV, what they are watching on social media.
A senior educationist also serves as a senior human resources officer with the Luwero District Local Government. Bernard Okelo encouraged primary 7 vacists against loitering.
That we encourage the parents, we keep contact with the parents so that these children are monitored, because when they leave school outside there, they can be a prey to some of the vices in the community. There are some children who may get into problems of this society, so we encourage the parents to be close to their children, to understand their children while they are with them, give them time.
Luwero District Education Officer Florence Bosa said parents should prepare their children to embrace the school curriculum.
But what we are seeing shows us, it's a testimony of what you have taken them through, and there is no doubt, I don't think anybody here, seated here, doubts the quality of these learners, because we have seen how we have prepared them.
Now, the government has been urged to prioritize improving education on Buyiga Island by addressing barriers to providing quality education to islanders. During a health camp organized by Rotary Club of Lubaga, Lakeview District 9214, it was revealed that inadequate infrastructure and lack of transport for teaching staff has hindered quality education on the island.
Buyiga Island, located in Ifiji District, is home to over 25,000 people. The island faces transportation challenges as movement to and from the island is by boat, a journey fraught with logistical and safety concerns. These transportation difficulties contribute to broader challenges in education, healthcare and general infrastructure. Teachers often face delays to starting lessons, and some are unable to reach school at all.
Infrastructure bizimbe bituwadde obuzibu bw'amaanyi. Ekisinga okukuumira ekizinga kino emabega kwe kuba nti abakozi ba gavumenti n'abasomesa nga mubatadde tuva lugendo wantuuka ssaawa nnyo okukola ekitali wala wonna mu ggwanga. Nsuubira tetugenda kutereera nga abasomesa tutandise kusula wano kusomesa abaana ba Uganda ku ssaawa 2. Tetuyina nnyumba yaddeemu. Musomesa wasobola na hiriswe sayina wasula. Tetuyina bwe tusobola kusula, tusobola okuyingira mu kibiina ku ssaawa 2. Era ffe munnange tutandika ssaawa zaffe 4 ne tusuubira olw'omukwano gwe tuyina ne Rotary tugenda kufuna n'ennyumba z'abasomesa tusulenga wano tusomese omwana w'e Buyiga.
The Rotary Club of Rubaga Lakeview District 9214 has embarked on the construction of a classroom block at Buyiga Seed Secondary School, seeking to improve educational standards on the island.
We look forward to improving on this island in basic education and literacy, where we have, of course, so far completed the foundation of a 3 classroom block here at Buyiga Seed Secondary School to help improve on the learning space, because this school has only 2 classrooms and 1 temporary structure where we are standing here, and we want to see this school improving, at least getting more classrooms which will improve learning space and also increase on enrollment in the secondary school.
I am very excited and pleased to see that the Rotary Club of Rubaga Lakeview chose a very deserving community to come and serve in. And I appreciate the 5 years that they have been here. They have done boreholes with partners. They have supported education. They have supported
disease and disease prevention and treatment. They have supported the environment. We are very excited and would like to thank them that they have committed to ensure that Buyiga Island changes, and they are really making it.
Buyiga Seed Secondary School is on the island, but it has only 2 classrooms, creating a significant barrier to effective learning. Head teacher Annette Serunkuma expressed gratitude for the Rotary Club's ongoing support.
Naye tugitegeeza nti ene Buyiga okuzimba kuli very expensive. Milioni byate zitumala. Satuwa classroom block ntono naye tusuubira etuzimbe essomero nga Seed School. Essomero lyokka liri ku island, abantu bangi bazibu, abaana abato basingako obungi 60% to 65. Baana bato bali mu youth stage. So tusabe tuzimbe essomero ddala eddene erina facilities zonna, bisaawe, mizannyo, ne Buyiga naye kulaakulane.
The Rotary Club of Rubaga Lakeview has supported residents of the island through medical camps, offering services such as eye care, hypertension screenings, dental checkups and treatments for other.
Thank you.
The Barundi community in Uganda, through their umbrella organization, the Barundi Twirundane Development Association, led by Godfrey Seguya Kaibanda, has launched a nationwide mobilization campaign. The initiative will begin in the 26 districts of Buganda region and focus on Buyikwe, Gomba, Greater Masaka and Greater Luwero areas with the highest Barundi population.
In Chiboga there are some villages where you go and you found only Barundi. There are some districts in Chiboga, Kajere, Katwe, Katoma, Chizinga, Chibiga, Kakola, Gogonya, only Barundi. But in Chiboga district, when you go to Chankwanzi, the Barundi are much there. So many Barundi there. When you go in Bugerere, actually in Bugerere, the information we are having in Bugerere, all the people in Bugerere, most of them are Barundi. Now this is where the problem comes from. The Burundi as a country has its natives as Barundi people, but it's not the case. The issue with Uganda, Uganda has no its natives as Ugandan people. It's a multi-tribal country. It is made up of so many tribes. So that's among the challenges. One of the challenges that Burundi denied national documents like national IDs and passports.
I'm holding up every individual, every person, Barundi clan.
Intensive one-week boot camp focused on equipping them with essential life skills. Throughout the program, experienced facilitators led them through a variety of sessions designed to prepare them for life beyond the classroom.
It's a document.
The program gave the girls chance to engage with American volunteers, fostering and enriching cross-cultural exchanges.
It's been an incredible chance to experience the idea of cross-cultural connections.
Self-awareness.
Oyam's District Education Officer David Adair highlighted the role of such initiatives in reducing teenage pregnancies and early marriages, issues that significantly affect the region. He noted that 25% of girls experience teenage pregnancy and over 45% drop out before completing primary 7.
You can ask yourself where the rest have gone. The life skill should help you to get out of the 25%.
Parents observed a significant positive change in their daughters, expressing a commitment to continue supporting their growth.
She is now becoming a strong girl, a strong lady, which can present herself in public.
The world is changing.
Fitch's Education Program Manager Victoria Arieta Nyango stated that the program empowers young girls to take charge of their future, preparing them to become leaders and productive citizens.
I see them assertive. I see them making very bold decisions that will impact their future positively.
Make your father your friend.
The 2-year curriculum includes exposure visits, offering rural girls a broader perspective. A standout moment was when the girls sat in the magistrate's seat, inspiring them to envision leadership roles and pursue their dreams.
They were looking smart, the dress that they were putting on.
The government's new curriculum prioritizes soft skills, a focus reflected in Fitch's program, which equips secondary school girls with the tools for success. Graduates join an alumni network offering mentorship and community support. Eddie Ulwa, UBC News.
All right, now UBC Lunchtime News has come to an end, but we do take you to the Sebei sub-region where the president is visiting to take a look and see how the PDM program is faring in those areas. From myself and the team working behind the scenes, we wish you a lovely afternoon.
We had the annual Elgon Half Marathon in Bali.